Well, it's been tough sledding for Syracuse basketball recently after losing 2 in a row to Oklahoma State and to Penn State. Coach Boeheim and company were trying to right the ship with a win against Iowa. We've got the highlights for you right here. So we'll take you to the first early now. Merrick Dolezaj is going to be the one who comes up with this after the scrum. Hughes will go up 4. It's the junior from Bratislava in transition. First back-to-back double-digit scoring game for him this season. His first points there. Iowa up 1, still early. Elijah Hughes, deep 3. Hughes retakes the lead. A season-high 25 points for him. Remember last year in the tourney versus Baylor. 14-12 Orange. Hughes with the rebound, but it's going to go to Quincy Guerrier in transition here, the freshman from Quebec. Hughes looking good as you see the slam there. Iowa hanging around in the first. 1-point Orange lead, 3 to go in the half. Jordan Bohannon is going to sink the deep 3. 10th player in all of Division I basketball since '92 to post at least 79 threes and 118 assists per season. Iowa fans breathing easy. Out of the half, Iowa still in front. It's Hughes with the shot, but then to Girard, the putback from Dolezaj. Tie game now. Fun fact, Dolezaj and Bohannon, they weigh the same despite a 9-inch height difference. Bet you didn't know that one. Big jump ahead. Iowa went on a big run, so it's 56-38. Hughes hits the contested 3. He's trying to get his team on his back here. Finished with 10 points. Iowa gets a bucket on the other end. So next possession, it's Hughes to Girard with the and 1. Good finish from the fan favorite from Glen Falls. Under 5 to go, 16-point lead. Remember Jordan Bohannon? Well, the Q's defense doesn't because they left him open right there. Bohannon, school record holder for threes, can pass the 300 mark. And then the nail in the coffin from Garza, and that's going to do it. Syracuse falls to 500. They've lost 3 in a row. Next ACC game is going to be against Georgia Tech. The Falmouth Commodores play games on a recurring basis throughout the summer right here at Gov Fuller Field. The admission is free, parking is free, and the action is filled to the brim with major league talent. So if you're looking for the best entertainment on the Cape, come watch a game full of rich history and bright futures. For the Falmouth Commodores Baseball Network, I'm Sevrin Lavenstein. With cases of inequality and preferential treatment in virtually every sport, it may seem like there's nothing that can be done. However, there is a remedy to the situation, and it starts with male athletes. Well, unlike Butterfield Stadium behind me where the Bombers football team plays their home games, Cortica 2019 at MetLife Stadium put the game on the big stage. That meant a whole new set of problems for student media that had to be dealt with in stride. The big game is catching the Bombers at an interesting time. After being ranked inside the top 10 for the majority of the season, the team lost its final 2 games of the Liberty League schedule. The most recent 26-point loss to RPI dropped them out of the top 25, and it put a bit of a damper on the South Hill festivities for the past week. The Jug presents a perfect opportunity to finish the season on the right note. Meanwhile, Cortland seems to have steamrolled through their schedule, but the mighty Red Dragons may be more vulnerable than their 8-1 record indicates. An overtime loss to Brockport 2 weeks ago saw them blow a 23-0 lead, and in their most recent game against 1-8 Hartwick, Cortland trailed heading into the 4th quarter. The team was ranked as high as 18th in the nation before the Week 9 loss to the Golden Eagles. The Red Dragons have a solid rushing offense, led by Zach Tripodi. The senior has 1,100 rushing yards on the season, along with 8 touchdowns. Quarterback Brett Zagala has had a successful season, passing for 21 touchdowns and over 2,000 yards. His receivers Cole Burgess and Jason Carlock have combined for 15 touchdowns, and his offense has 3 pass catchers averaging 15 yards per reception. Cortland has shown themselves to be a smart, fundamentally sound football team. Zagala is protected by an offensive line that has allowed only 6 sacks on the year, and the team as a whole is the least penalized in the Empire 8. But there's one more detail that separates this game from any other. As you might have heard, today's game will be played in MetLife Stadium, a place that has seen one of the greatest catches in NFL history, the new miracle at the Meadowlands, a Super Bowl, and yes, even a butt fumble. As part of the celebration of 150 years of college football, and in partnership with the National Football Foundation, Ithaca and Cortland will be providing a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Some 45,000 fans will occupy the seats, some in red, some in blue, but all will help set a new attendance record for a Division III football game. Cortland, Ithaca, who will take home the Jug at MetLife Stadium and cap off a wild ride to the 2019 season? Will Ithaca slay the Dragon and mark their name in that familiar blue for the third year in a row? Or will Cortland manage to defuse the Bombers and reclaim their title? One thing is for certain, this little game has never been bigger. Now, live from East Rutherford, New Jersey, here are Ben Carlton, Matthias Weilman, and John Vicari with the call. Welcome to the 61st Annual Cortica Jug on 92 WICB Ithaca and the Bombers Radio Network. Both coaches emphatically talking to their teams. Look over on the Cortland side, everybody huddled together as J.C. Brooks is encouraging her team to stay in this, among other things, drawing up a bunch of plays. Coach Raymond does not have the board in front of him. He is instead very much going with the hand gestures and pointing to all of his players on the bench here. Going to have to make some adjustments as it's still a very close game, 48-46, going into the final period of action.
It was a 10-point lead for the Bombers with about 3.5 to play in the quarter. And then, like we mentioned, the Red Dragons going on that 8-0 run in the last minute, a 10-2 run overall in the last 2 minutes of the quarter. Matthias told us that the Red Dragons really had dominated the third quarter this season. They closed out strong.
Well, we'll reset the floor for you. Out there is Cassidy O'Malley, Megan Yawman, Natalie Smith, Cara Volpe, and Lindsay Albertelli there for the Bombers. You've got McGuire, Bonin, Tully, Longford, and Travers out there for Cortland. Here's an entry pass inside to Natalie Smith, back out. Volpe inside to O'Malley, up no good. Tried to get her on rebound. McGuire controls, pressure from O'Malley, and she'll head back as now Cortland can slow things up on the other end. Longford hands it off. Travers, Tully, now McGuire driving left. Back out, same spot that she hit the three. Travers no good this time. Megan Yawman takes control. Hands it off to Smith. Smith had room for the three, didn't go for it. Back out to Yawman, far side, inside to O'Malley by three Cortland defenders. She looked away and had the ball stolen. Travers comes up with it.
That's a play where Cassidy O'Malley has got to give the ball up. She's got three Cortland defenders on her.
McGuire, and now reset by Bonin as she looks over to Brooks for some signals. 17 on the shot clock. She likes that far side into Longford. No dribble needed. Nice little finger roll in for the score as Cortland ties it up at 48. Now quickly on the other end, O'Malley in transition converts.
Give one, get one right now.
50-48, 8:40 to go here in this fourth quarter of action. Beth Bonin back to that far side, just beyond the arc where she likes it. Back to Longford, tries a deep three-point attempt. Bounced around the rim, and Tully gets it back on the floor. She'll hold on to it. Jump ball. We'll see where the possession arrow goes. It stays with Cortland.
Longford's had success on the season from behind the arc, but today now just 1 of 6.
Beth Bonin to inbound. Finds Longford. Back to Bonin. Trying to find some room against Volpe. Cross court to Tully. Thought about it. Nice little jab step up, and before she can try and get it in, it's fouled. Hit on the wrist for her shot, and Sarah Tully will head to the line.
Foul on Cassidy O'Malley there. Sarah Tully today from the line, 2 of 3.
Tully hits the first. Grace Cannon getting ready to check back in, see who she subs in for.
I don't imagine it's going to be Natalie Smith coming out of the game. She's played some crucial minutes here in the beginning of the fourth quarter, though, for Coach Raymond.
Second shot is good, and they'll make substitutions. Cannon comes in. Is not for Smith. It's for Lindsay Albertelli. Same lineup for Cortland. They do not make any substitutions. Megan Yawman tied at 50. 8 minutes to go here in the fourth. Grace Cannon near side. O'Malley, top of the key. Cannon driving with the right, still at the top of the key. Tried to find O'Malley, stolen away. That's Travers again. She hit the floor hard, but comes up and is okay.
Grace Cannon a little bit paralyzed with indecision there, kind of caught in a weird in-between state of going for the fadeaway, about a 15, 16-foot jump shot, and trying to dump it down to Cassidy O'Malley. Took too much time, though, and the Red Dragons were able to intercept that pass.
Under 8 to go, still tied. Beth Bonin will take it on the far side and bring it up against Kara Volpe. Gets the screen from Longford, tries a 3. Back of the rim. O'Malley will let it fall out of bounds. Bomber ball. Megan Yawman bringing it up. She'll take it to Grace Cannon. 7:30 to go. Still tied at 50, looking to break that tie. Volpe on the drive, little fake, couldn't get it.
Nice head fake from Kara Volpe there to create some space.
Tully, nice little hesitation, and she hits the bucket in transition. 52-50, Cortland ahead, coming up on 7 to play. Smith, and it's transition buckets being traded back and forth. Natalie Smith, little right then left and up and in.
The pace really picking up in this fourth quarter.
Beth Bonin between her legs and then back to Tully. Now it's Travers getting a high screen. Tully's open, but instead Longford takes a 3 and makes a 3.
And Tully was open, and then Nia Langford was left even more open by the Bombers' defense.
55-52, under 7. Bombers need to respond. Kara Volpe gets the high screen from O'Malley, doesn't take it, passes it off to Smith. Now Yawman. Yawman driving with the left. Looks for the foul. She's incredulous as she does not get a foul call, and instead it's out of bounds. Cortland taking the ball the other way.
In the 6-4 victory.
It seems a little bit like plug and play sometimes. They've lost some guys like Thomas Girard that mainly are mainstays at the back end of that bullpen. You see Maldonado come in at the end, and you saw Robleski yesterday with really what was a quality start at the top end of that rotation. So while some guys have come in and out and sort of shifted around from what might be scheduled days in their starting or scheduled days in that rotation, they still come in, and once again it's a seamless transition from that starter to the bullpen.
Welcome back to Lowell Park. 2-1 still in favor of Cotulla. We have a pitching change. It's Weatherly on the mound. He's coming in with a 5.68 ERA in 4 games pitched. 6 innings as a whole, giving up 4 hits and 6 runs. Man from Clemson. Getting ready to replace a solid outing from Nastrini. David, what'd you see?
Well, he was great. 5 innings of work, 2 earned runs, no walks, and 3 strikeouts. It's about par for the course for Nastrini, who's been remarkably consistent. I think that's the one thing I've noticed, is he gave up 1 run his last time out, 2 runs tonight, 3 runs the time before that. He's a guy who you can rely on to limit the scoring to 3 or less runs, I think. And I think he should be able to do the same for the rest of the summer.
They're going with this 6'3", 200-pound lefty. He's going to be a junior at Clemson. Ready for the 6th inning. The first batter he's going to face is Joey Loperfido. Came around to score his last time up. Fouls this one off to the left.
So you mentioned the 5.68 earned run average for Weatherly. 6 1/3 innings of work, 5 walks and 9 Ks. Hasn't allowed an earned run since June 26th.
A 1 pitch, nice breaking ball that fools Loperfido. Coach Trundy going with a man who doesn't give up a lot of earned runs to make sure that they can keep this thing close if they're able to get that 1 more to tie it. Reaches out, taps it over to Hayden Cantrell, fields it cleanly on to first for the first out. Loperfido almost went down to his back knee there to go out and hit that one. And just came up with it, sending it out to Hayden.
That's a good protective swing from Loperfido. In that situation, you got to make sure that you're trying to put the ball in play, not taking. And Weatherly works a quick first out.
So here in the 6th, we'll see if the approach changes as they get ready to face Weatherly for the first time. High breaking ball didn't break enough, and first ball here is to Mason McCorder.
He's been great tonight.
I was going to say, he's been a little bit of a thorn and found the side so far tonight. Reached base twice. Went back to the breaking pitch and once again just missed. It looks good. It's just not quite finding its spot so far. You expect that to change.
First curveball was way high. That second one was a lot better. Low and outside, just didn't get the swing.
2-0, Weatherly from the windup. The pitch, high fastball, and it's fouled away.
So McWhorter from Georgia Southern had a .321 average during his junior year.
2-1 is tapped foul down the first baseline.
Second on the team in average this year, led him in home runs, RBIs, walks, and triples.
See that he hit 11 home runs last year, too. Count even at 2-2, 1 out. Weatherly shaking off a couple signs. He's got one now. Here's the delivery. This one lined into right field, but Deloach is under it. He makes the play.
Looks good off the bat from McWhorter, who, despite going 2 for 3, has had a great 3 at-bats. Got a pinch hitter now, Sevrin and Donta Williams from Arizona.
Left-handed bat, 267, 2 home runs, 35 RBIs from Arizona. First pitch to him misses.
Williams with a 189 average this summer. Does have 1 home run, though. Katuitt first in the Cape League in long bombs. They have 4 guys with 4 home runs and 11 guys who've gone yard.
Weatherly misses high again. Does have 2 RBIs on the season as well. 4 walks, 11 strikeouts. 2-0 from Weatherly. Missed high. Count runs to 3-0.
Williams a little bit smaller of a batter. 5'10", 170. It's a little bit tough for the large lefty in Sam Weatherly.
Claunch sets up outside. Here's the pitch. It's a strike on the outside corner. 3-1 now. Weatherly, not slow, but taking his time. Now he's got his pitch. Claunch again sets up outside. The 3-1 is lifted high in the air. Going back in left field is Maisel. He's at the fence. He makes the catch. Leaning back over his left shoulder and coming up with the baseball. That does it for the final out of the inning in dramatic fashion. So it's Weatherly who comes on, and he does the job handling the pinch hitter for the final out of the inning. We'll head to the 7th right after this. Welcome back for the 7th inning, 2-1, your score in favor of Katuitt. Before we get going again, Katie Florio has something for us on the pitcher, Nastrini. Go ahead, Katie.
Thanks, Sevrin. I just talked to Nick when he came out of the game. He said he felt really good out there, really composed, and gave it his all. And he certainly has a reason to say that. Went 5 complete innings and only allowed 2 runs. Also gave up no walks, so his command really on point tonight. He did exactly what he had to do to keep Falmouth in the game. Now it's just up to the offense to get more guys on and bring them around.
Thank you, Katie. Great hit as always. And doing what he needed to do is certainly the key point. It wasn't a bad outing for Nashri, not by a long stretch. It was a relative pitcher's duel at the beginning, and then just coming up on the wrong end of things. 2-1 is a pretty respectable score. At this point, we have 6 hits for Katuitt and 5 for Falmouth.